Here we go with another Roll for Crit at Gen Con 2015. I'm Will Keeler.
I'm Jonathan Estes. Today we're talking about a Spiel de Jahres nominee from earlier in the year. Of course, to be a nominee, it had to have already been released, but not in America, which is why we got to play at IDW's booth today, the American edition of the game, also known as Spiel. And this is a very simple game. The closest approximation would be Hanabi, if you are familiar with that. Basically, there are 4 piles, each, or not really piles, 4 cards. Each one starts with 1. Or no, sorry.
2 start with 1 with an arrow up, 2 start with 100 with an arrow down.
Right, and everyone has a hand of cards, which are the numbers somewhere between 2 and 99.
There's a deck of cards, each one with 1 copy of the numbers 2 to 99. So it's a 98, 97 card deck.
Correct. And on your turn, you can place at least 2, but you may place more.
Which we did not know until halfway through.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Cards next to one or more of those 4 piles. So of course, you have to, for the bottom 2, place something that is higher. For the top 2, place something that is lower. If you're unable to do that, there's nothing you can do, and the game is over. And the other thing that makes that a little bit easier, because you could very quickly run out of things to do if a pile gets too high or too low. You can play in the opposite direction if you have a card that is exactly 10 more or less than what the last number played was.
For example, if you're going in the pile that's descending in number, and the number in there is 48, you can play 58 to sort of bring it back up to try to give you some more time.
Right.
However, you also should try to communicate with your allies, which we also did not do. As in the first turn, I had the number 2. So I was like, that's great, I'll play it on one of the ones. What are the chances the other 2 people played there? They played there.
Well, I think we were really in the mindset of Hanabi, where we were thinking you're not allowed to talk to each other, which is sort of, I think it's more loose. And the other thing, like you said, we totally forgot that you could play more than 2 cards a turn, which really screwed us up in the late game. We lost. We didn't do that well. But what did you think of it as an experience and as a Spiel de Jahres nominee?
I mean, it was interesting. It reminded me of Hanabi in a way, like you said.
I think sure, you can't escape that comparison, I don't think.
But I think I could see why it was a nominee, but I do think I would enjoy the other 2 more.
Yeah, I actually really liked it. I thought it was a fun mix. I mean, yeah, like I honestly don't know. Like for me, we've talked about the Spiel de Jahres enough, but none of the 3 nominees really thrilled me in any particular way. But I thought this one was solid. I don't begrudge it anything for being nominated.
I don't think it's bad for being nominated. I just think if I had the 3 on a shelf, I'm going to reach for the other 2.
Yeah, I understand. But I do think, for a price point that I assume will probably be no more than $10 to $20, I'd pick it up.
Oh, we should mention it's not out, so there's
not out yet, but soon. I think not within a month or 2. But yeah, I want to play it again. I think it was fun. I'm not sure how many players it goes up to, but I'm sure there's more combinations and things there. Then it's a good, very simple game that you could easily. Sometimes you want to have just numbers, and you don't need to have something that nobody can play. It's really complicated.
We should mention the game. You only win
the game.
You only win the game if you have a combined total of 10 cards between the deck and everyone's hands, which obviously means the deck probably is going to be empty, since your hand is usually 7. Right,
so you really have to be
play multiples
and stuff. Yeah, and try not to cut anybody else off if you can. So there's a lot of different avenues to take. So it sounds like you're a little more lukewarm on it than I am, but overall, it was worth checking out. And
it's a Spiel de Jahres for a reason.
Sure.
A nominee. Spiel de Jahres nominee.
So you can find the game later on if you want to see maybe some pictures of it or other Gen Con news. Plus, we sell games and all kinds of things. You can follow us on the web, rollforcrit.com or rollforcrit.com/GenCon2015 for our Gen Con coverage. Otherwise, we'll have to stay tuned for more later. I'm Jonathan Estes.
And I'm Will Keeler, and this has been Roll for Crit at Gen Con 2015.